All right, okay, cool. So I think we're good. Not quite an hour later than when I wanted to get started, but I think we'll be good to go. So anyway, this is actually episode 26 of my premium podcast experience, The Verdict. I actually lost the audio to my last episode.
Oh, that's horrible.
Right. So there are things that we'll be discussing in this episode that people were supposed to hear last episode. Like, say, for instance, that I Am Wes Taylor is no longer with us in full. Okay. You know, he accepted a better paying job, and he is, he basically getting into a bag. He'll be in and out. He's not going to be,
a staple.
Right. As he once was, which is fine. We wish him all the best of luck, and, hope he is, securing, the money, which is what he told me he was leaving to do. This is, my first episode back of the new year, 2018. Lots changed. Some people before I get into what's changed, I'm going to discuss who's with me right now so I can paint the picture for the audience. So to my left, I've got...
Here, go again.
I don't know who the fuck I have to my left, so I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Gorilla Hit, definitely here in the building. All right. Me and I Am Wes Taylor had a great debate of what my name should be, or we had my name and then it just turned into this fiasco of what did we say it was?
It was a
Hurricane Black.
Yeah, Hurricane Black.
Names are important, so
definitely. So it was definitely a back and forth of what that was, but I stuck with it. So it's Gorilla Hit, definitely joining the Verdict podcast today.
The Gorilla hits hard.
Yeah, it does. Okay. It's real hard.
Okay, and so. Now that we got that settled, so to my left we have Gorilla Hit, and across from me, if you want to go ahead and tell us your name, sir, and where you're hailing from, my fans would appreciate that.
Absolutely. My name is Eerie Canal, born and raised in Rochester, New York, but I am now a proud Oak City resident. I am in Raleigh. I'm going to be in Raleigh. I'll make my moves in Raleigh, and we'll branch out from there, north to south.
Okay, all right. There's nothing wrong with making moves in Raleigh. I myself am from someplace else, and I'm now an Oak City resident. And, I'm in Raleigh, and I'm making moves here as well. So you were starting to say something real interesting before we got started. I wanted to hear about, some of your experiences. It sounded like you were previously an Oak City resident, had to spend some time away, but you had built up somewhat of a following or buzz for yourself by doing various performances. So let me get into that a little bit. Like, basically, fill me in on those gaps because I was unfamiliar with that. So what was going on for you at the time?
Okay. As I said, I'm from Rochester, New York. My mother actually made the move down to Raleigh first, and being that she's a single parent, she had my younger brother and sister with her, and she was moving to a city I was unfamiliar with and that she was. I decided to uproot myself and come down here with her just to make her transition smoother. People watch you when you're new, and I didn't want people seeing a woman coming in and out of the house without a man's presence. So I jumped up, came down here with her. This was around 2012, 2013. I came down, I got a job, was working at a place called Five Guys, and because I am hip-hop, I take hip-hop wherever I go, so I started doing open mics in Raleigh. I linked with a lot of musicians that were locally here and doing things. I did all the open mics I could. I got some great opportunities. A place called Southland Ballroom. I did an open mic there and was approached by the owner of the facility afterwards, and he said, "Yo, you sounded great. I've got a show coming. I want you to open for us." And that ended up being a pretty cool performance. I opened for Nappy Roots and Raw Digga at a show at Southland Ballroom. Fantastic experience, linked up with some people. And again, it just felt like I was always doing something. The artist kind of can probably relate to that. When you feel like you're always doing something, it doesn't matter what it is, you feel like you're making progress. So that was the spirit I got from Raleigh. That was my first taste of Raleigh. After I felt my mom was comfortable, she works at UNC. I kind of had to go back to New York. I got a role in a major motion picture, and it was time for the motion picture to hit theaters. So there were promotional events I had to go to. So I had to go back to New York. While back in New York, as is wont to happen, I stepped over a certain yellow line and ended up in handcuffs, right? So I couldn't come back to Raleigh as soon as I had hoped to add on to that momentum.
Well, hold on.
I can't gloss over that.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that you glossed over that I just wanted to stop and discuss before we got too far away. Now, first of all, you said that you opened up. Now, Southland Ballroom.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar. Where is that?
It's in Raleigh. What street? I don't remember. But Southland Ballroom is in Raleigh. It is a popular music venue, but I think it's more known for acoustic and instrumental shows. But they were running open mics at one time. I'm not sure which local promoter got the plug for it, but they were doing open mics. It's downtown. I know that because I used to walk there from around the Moore Square Park area. But yeah, I got that opportunity, and like I say, it was amazing. You know, the reception I got from the people felt great. I don't know if it was honeymoon period, you know, just being a new artist in the area or whatever, but I miss it, you know.
And so you said Nappy Roots and Raw Digger. So what song? What time? Paint the time period. So were they still hot at the time? Because Raw Digger, that was a minute ago.
I know, right? Listen, when I heard the ticket, right, I said to myself, I'm a lover of music, though.
Right.
So certain things are timeless for me. You know what I mean? But they weren't hot at the time. They ain't been hot since I was about 11. You know
right. Yeah, I was like, I was a little boy when Raw Digger was killing it.
But this was 2012, and they were still performing. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they got a nice little check, no matter who they were. You know, the owner cut them a check.
Right.
But it was interesting to be at an open mic and make the kind of impact that made that person say, hey, I want you to open this show for me, when he doesn't know nothing about me. That was his first time seeing me. And an environment that's receptive, that is that receptive to my performance, made me feel like there's potential, there's opportunity here, you know?
I would agree. There is potential and there is opportunity. And, you know, there doesn't seem to be the attitude is very supportive so far to me. You know, but I also feel as though I'm not in a lot of people's way. You know,
you got to get in the way to get noticed. Ain't that something?
Well, I'm not in the way that, you know, I made my own lane,
right?
And I'm way over here doing it.
And it's hard to be seen, right?
Well, it's not hard to be seen. It's just that because I feel like, you know, a lot of people support me, especially the people that I've met, because I'm not trying to do, you know, what they're trying to do.
Right.
So it's like,
You're
know,
not a threat to their exact plan.
Exactly. So, you know, it's been easy to maneuver and to, you know, be seen because, you know, people haven't felt threatened by my presence.
Right.
And, you know, I'm not a very, you know, I try not to be, you know, confrontational. So
your name is Splash Jordan. Stop it. Jordan and Splash. Both of those say it's game time. We talked about names.
Right.
But you got a plan. You got a master plan.
Exactly. And, you know, I got a plan. But anyway, so I thought that was pretty interesting. Definitely opening them for Raw Digger. I would have, even though they were completely cold, I would have.
You gonna ask me if they were hot just to see what I would say.
I would have loved to have seen them. I recently saw Little Mo. In concert.
Another throwback.
Right. She's super cold. You know,
right.
You could drop her in that drink right now.
Oh, by the way, that what you guys hear is the sound of a Long Island iced tea.
Yeah, man. That shit looks good.
It's almost gone.
Right. Yeah, I see. You know, I'm sitting there like, damn, I should have got me one. But so I seen Lil Mo, and of course she did fucking Superwoman,
which is fire.
And I mean, she like tore down the fucking building with it, and I was just like, damn, like.
What happened?
You know what I'm saying? Like it was like 2001 or like 1999
all over
again. It was crazy. So, and she did that in the other two songs that she had, and then she got off the stage. And so, I mean, even though some acts are cold, you know, they still have hits.
Right.
You know, they still got some hits like that you would love to see live. So I can understand it. So next, I want to hear about this movie though.
Okay.
So. Can you name this movie?
Of course I can. Of course I can. The movie's on Netflix. Everybody watch it. I get a little check every time somebody watches it on Netflix. It's called King's Faith.
King's Faith.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't heard of it, but it's
I don't know. I watch Netflix. So
okay.
I'll be on there.
Right. So it's called King's Faith. I got into that through an open mic. I was doing an open mic back home in Rochester. Somebody who watched me said, hey, you got great stage presence. I know somebody making a movie. Open casting, I think you should go audition. So I did. I went and auditioned, and as luck would have it, I landed actually a pretty major role in the movie. as the villain. You know how that goes.
Word.
Yeah, I guess I'm the bad guy. And
oh shit.
yeah, it opened the week of Spider-Man 3 and actually ended up 7th in the nation. Now, as an independent funded movie, that's huge. So the Lutheran Church made a whole lot of money off that film. It was faith-based, but not a Christian movie. They wanted to make it edgy, gang-related, etc. Yeah, you guys check it out, man. King's Faith.
Of fucking course I'm gonna check it out, man. Like, I'm super amped. Dude. I'm like, yo, I'm about to cut this shit about 30 minutes short. Like, I gotta get home, check out this fucking King's Faith, bro.
Yeah,
like,
man.
That's fucking major. I was not expecting.
That's it. Yeah, Gorilla Hit pulled it up on the phone. He ain't playing.
No, he definitely did pull it up.
I want to check it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
He's doing big things. We definitely want to see what's going on with it.
Yeah,
so
man.
it's definitely right here on Netflix. Looking at it, so
On Netflix,
I'm not
man.
trying to promote Netflix, but it's definitely
Man,
there.
why not?
Yeah,
You're going to
nah.
be beside somebody.
Yeah.
Netflix ain't a bad partner.
Yeah, Netflix, man. Netflix all fucking
Shout
day.
it out. We get a Netflix, you know what I'm saying? Endorsement.
If
We
I was
lit.
about to say, if
Yeah.
they like to endorse us, that'd be different.
Netflix, man. I fucking love it. I brush my teeth with Netflix.
And chill.
What? Netflix is the perfect companion for any,
Any type of situation.
any
that
type
you're
of
in,
situation you're in. There's something on Netflix to put
Definitely.
on the TV, man. Like
That's a
if you
fact.
don't have Netflix, get it.
Get it.
If you got Netflix, watch King's Faith.
Yes, please. I
Watch-
need it.
Yeah,
Need gas money.
watch it twice, man.
Please.
yeah.
You done
Right,
paid your
right,
membership.
right.
Hold me down.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, bro. All you got to do, bro, because for real,
Put it on loop.
Yeah, my nigga, like, go clean up.
Right.
Go to work.
Exactly.
Just let it run.
Yeah,
Let it play.
just let that mug rock, bro. And then when it's over, call your homegirl, tell her to go to your house and play
And
the
play it
movie.
again.
Play
Right.
it again. You can
Play
that,
from beginning.
You can play that bitch all day while you at work, and it don't matter, bro. You could come home, do whatever else you want to do, but give it a play, man. Give it a whole bunch of fucking plays for no reason.
I
just
appreciate
because,
y'all. Yeah,
man.
indeed,
Definitely.
man. I appreciate
Just
y'all.
fucking because. But that's exciting, man.
Yeah.
Like for real, for real.
Yeah.
I'm definitely like, yo, that's cool as shit.
You
man.
ain't even know.
I didn't, man. I had no idea. So that's a pleasant surprise. How long did it take? So what was that whole experience like? Just making a
Oh,
movie,
man.
like, and that was your first time going from like,
The only camera I was in front of was my selfie camera before that.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was huge.
It's a big transition.
Yeah, I mean, people, they wouldn't let me walk from my trailer to the place we were filming, even if it was 100 feet away. They had to put me on a golf cart because of SAG rules on a major motion picture film set. They had to drive me from my trailer 20 feet away to the scene where the movie was being shot that day. It was out of control.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
So what, you being a movie star, what are we going to classify you as? Because at first you're a hip hop, now you're a movie star. You're just all around entertainer, then, aren't you?
I don't entertain. I inspire. You know what I'm saying? You may be entertained by it, but that's not my objective. I'm a soul reaper. I want your mind. I want you to contemplate what you experience. You know what I'm saying? Entertainers are hit and go. It's like, it's like a high. You get high, you come down. I don't want people to feel that with me because you won't remember that. You'll chase somebody who can get you higher.
True,
I want to inspire, hopefully, at some point.
I like the way you put that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Seemed like he thought about it.
right. That was well rehearsed. He had
No, it wasn't. This is pure flow, man.
he had that one in the chamber. He was like,
I was
okay,
like, got him.
I'm
Good
waiting for him to
act.
ask this question.
got him.
Right.
Oh man, so that's interesting though. That you do wear so many hats, and so at the end of that, now, are there any names before I watch it? Are there going to be any names in here I might recognize?
Absolutely. For my people in the streets, I know everybody done seen A Thin Line Between Love and Hate.
Right.
Yeah,
And the
okay.
crazy woman that was chasing Martin around that movie, her name is Lynn Whitfield.
Yeah.
She stars in it.
Oh wow.
If you've seen, now everybody says he's from NYPD Blue. I don't watch NYPD Blue, but what I did see was Malcolm X. And you remember the brother that was holding Malcolm's head as he died? His name is James McDaniel.
You talking about the black dude
Yeah, with the box, with the box haircut.
with the box haircut?
Yeah,
His name is James McDaniel.
James McDaniel. I guess he's Lieutenant Fancy on NYPD Blue, but again, I don't watch that.
I remember NYPD Blue.
So he was Lieutenant Fancy on that. James McDaniel is in it
Okay.
as well.
Okay.
For the Disney Channel fans out there, the star and his love interest, Kayla Compton and Crawford Wilson are both stars in the Disney World. They were in it as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kayla Crawford. Both of those names sound familiar. Kayla Compton. Yeah, those names sound familiar, too. I feel like I can't place her face, but I feel like I do know that name.
She a cutie.
I think I do know that name, yeah.
She a cutie. She ain't Ariana Grande, but she cutie. She a cutie.
Okay. And so after that experience, were you thinking like, okay, I'm going to get into acting, or was it like a something you got off your bucket list, or what was your plan after that?
To be totally honest, I didn't have a plan after that, and I think that's kind of why things went the way they did. When it comes to my music and my artistry, which can be entertaining, it's not about a plan for me. It's about me believing in my skills to the point that it will affect someone in a way that they'll lead me to the next door that's meant for me. So after the movie was over, again, there was about a 2-year window of post-production before it hits theaters. That's the time I came down to Raleigh. When it hits theaters, I got to go back up. Now, those industry, those companies, the film company, et cetera, they have a different relationship with the actors that come from Hollywood than me. Remember, I'm discovered talent. I have no manager. I have no team. It's just me. And the way they interacted with me let me know I couldn't place a foundation on them, even though they gave me this great opportunity. So I went back to doing music. I went back to making my next mixtape, my next release. You know what I'm saying? Trying to find studio time, trying to find producers to give me original beats so that if I wanted to release them, I wouldn't get tagged or something like that. I went back to doing that. And it just so happens that because of the marketing scheme related to that next project, ended up in some hot water.
Okay, right. So
right.
Definitely, which brings us to, another point that you attempted to gloss over. So you got into some hot water, and you described it as crossing a yellow line.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to need you to elaborate a little bit more than that.
Sure. There are certain... Okay, the yellow line is painted on the road, right? I told you, I did some time incarcerated. And there's yellow lines all through the prison that say you can't step over this line.
Okay. No, those yellow lines. Yes.
Right. If you haven't...
I'm thinking yellow lines on the road. Like,
so now,
you went to the other lane.
Hold on. There's my exact point. Most people don't realize that the yellow lines on the road are the same yellow lines in the prison. Period. Just because you don't make the connection is not a reflection of reality. If you step over a drawn line out here in what you call society, you will end up looking at those same yellow lines from a cell. Period. It's just reality that we share right now. So when I say I crossed over a yellow line, that means I crossed over a boundary that was set by those who had the power to incarcerate me. Okay. So I was promoting hip-hop. If you want to know, I was promoting hip-hop. There's a concept I decided to use in concordance with someone I met from Arizona. His name was Jason Michael Barton, right? So he's a producer. He's also a business and mass communications major from Arizona State University. Met him on Facebook. Shout out to Versus. And we came up with a marketing scheme, okay? Mm-hmm. So remember, this is 2 years between me filming the movie and getting ready for it to drop.
Okay.
I don't exist to these people. I'm not in the union. I don't get an unemployment check because the movie finished wrapping. Everybody else was. I wasn't. I was homeless for a while. They didn't know. They didn't care. So I went back to promoting my music. My next album, what we were doing was we were sharing pictures of lynchings. American history. We were saying this is American history raw. We're not going to hide it from you. Pictures of lynchings, pictures of exactly what America has done. And I got a phone call from the marketing department for the film, and they said, hey, some of the investors are a little bit worried about what's going on your Facebook page. And I got incensed. I said, I don't care what y'all worried about. You know what I'm saying? I ain't heard from y'all in a year and a half. The investors ain't paying my rent. I'm homeless right now. Do you even know where I'm at? How I don't remember how you got my phone number. You gonna call me and tell me about something? What I didn't realize is when I signed a contract with Sony Provident Films, who released the movie, I signed away the rights to my image. My image, the way I present myself, I gave them the right to own that for a certain time period in connection to the movie. And funny, here's something for people who sign contracts. Read it. I didn't read it.
Read it.
And it said, listen, it said into the galaxy. What does Sony have to do with the galaxy? But they wanted rights to my image into the galaxy. And that includes Facebook, is what I'm telling y'all now. So what I was doing on Facebook was in violation of the contract I signed because it was a faith-based film. So the Lutheran Church, even though it's true, doesn't want Christian children seeing pictures of black men hanging from trees. They don't want to see that. When they were saying, hey, we found a great talented guy walking around Rochester, New York, go look at his Facebook. And there's pictures of Emmett Till on my Facebook page saying, I got a message for y'all. You're going to pay for what you did. They like, you can't put that, you can't put that up there right now. Right? Oh, no, it gets worse.
Oh, my God.
All right,
So anyways, I was promoting that album. It's called Symbolic Nature. I was promoting Symbolic Nature. Long story short, I'm sitting watching CNN. I'm in my Captain America shorts. I got on a white T-shirt, and I got my laptop in front of me. Now, I partake in something called LSD. I'm a fan of it. I love it. How you feel about it is your business, but I'm going to put it out there. I love it. I love it.
I enjoy it as well.
Okay, so anyways, the veil been ripped down. So I'm watching CNN, and they show a clip really fast of Obama telling Trump that he doesn't have to worry. Now he can focus on where Tupac and Biggie are. And then it jumps to a clip of Obama saying, I'll send drone strikes. You won't even see it coming. And then it sends, CNN cut to a clip of someone being shot. Then it jumped to Afghanistan. And because I'm open and my mind is awake, I started making these random connections. And I said, oh, my God, they're going to assassinate him. That's what my mind told me at that moment. So I, without thinking, went onto social media. I tagged pages run by political action committees that were called Barack Obama. It was not his personal account. They were pages run by political action committees that were entitled Barack Obama. And I said, you might as well get ready to die. That was taken as a threat to kill the President of the United States. I was arrested by the Secret Service and incarcerated subsequently.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
God damn, brother.
If there was ever a don't do drugs campaign,
this is it. This is it.
This is definitely fucking it, man. But, I mean, it can take you there, though.
I mean, the consciousness doesn't ask questions when links are made, but the key is that tact, finesse. Okay, I was in a moment just emotionally where I was just like, I'm sure this is what's about to happen, and I said some things I, in retrospect, should not have said without being able to foresee how it could be interpreted by others. I said, I know what I'm thinking. I know I don't want to hurt anyone. But guess what? Other people have the right to take it however they want, and unfortunately, some of those people who exercise that right have a jacket that says Secret Service on it. And they came to my house.
So the Secret Service themselves came?
The Secret Service came to my door with the German Shepherds, the black Tahoes, the big guns, and snatched me out of my bed in my Captain America shorts. What's interesting is that we're not stupid. We know the internet's a big place. There are people with permits to own guns who hate certain people, who planning to hurt them. They're not getting snatched out of their homes. No, everyone knows, including them. They build profiles on people that had no intentions of hurting anyone. Matter of fact, I didn't say I was going to hurt anyone. I reminded everyone of their mortality, and that's unallowed. It's called putting the fear of God into people.
Oh, my God. Is that a thing?
Of course it used to be. I don't know what happened. I think the world is numb.
I thought that was just like a Pusha T line or something. I thought that Pusha T was just rapping about the fear of God.
No, it's a thing. It's a thing, and when you can activate it or express it, people have the right, honestly, to say, this is how I'm taking it. So freedom of speech is an illusion. Don't fool yourself. Yeah, you have the right to say whatever you want, and the consequences have their right as well. Isn't that sad?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is insane, man. That whole story, just everything you just fucking said, I'm just like, what?
Yeah, I'm flabbergasted. I'm sure. I could have sworn it was like, man, I got caught up with the homies. We had an ounce on us.
Yeah,
shit.
I
got caught up.
I wish I was that cool, man. Yeah, nah.
What?
It just went completely left.
That shit was crazy just then, man. But I mean,
so what kind of charge is that? Like, what do they actually charge you with?
They actually charge you with threatening to kill the President of the United States.
And you're out now.
Well, yeah. I mean, here's the key. What happened in the process is, I had a public defender, of course. I'm poverty stricken.
Right.
So they offered me 30 years.
30 years.
At that point, I said, "You're fired."
Right.
and I'll represent myself.
Did you tell him to holler at you when he's sober?
No, I didn't. No, I said go and don't come back. No, don't holler at me at all. At that point, you have to prove your competency to the courts. So they send you for what's called a competency exam. They actually sent me from New York back to North Carolina. Message: I should have never left. Took my ass back up to New York and got caught up. So they sent me to a place in Butner, North Carolina, a federal medical facility where I was evaluated. I was interviewed extensively by certain organizations that shall not be named because I'm not allowed to name them.
Okay.
And after that, I was deemed competent to present my case myself to a jury. And by the time I got back to New York, at that point, I had spent 18 months in custody, in federal custody. And the offer made to me was time served with 3 years probation, and I wanted to go home. So I pled guilty, just like, most of us do. So I've never been duly convicted of any crime, but I've been to prison a few times, all on pleading guilty. And that's really the shell game. That's what it is. So I pled guilty to the charge. I was given 3 years of probation. I'm now serving that probation. I'm meeting all my requirements, and just trying to keep my head below the water, man. Below the water. I want to be underwater. I want to keep my head above the water. I don't want nobody to see me. I got gills.
Right. I got gills, motherfucker.
You're low.
Yeah, nigga. I'm so fucking low. I feel that, though.
I'm just trying to picture you in front of a Dre, like, look, I was high.
No,
thinking,
because here's the key. Here's the key. I don't want to lie anymore. I wasn't high when it happened. The issue is that when I bring up LSD, my eyes were open to a certain perception that allowed me to make the connections I made, that his life was in danger. Because what happened when I was in custody? The president investigated the Secret Service and then fired all of them, including the head of the Secret Service, because they found bullet holes in the White House that he didn't know about. They drove their car drunk through a bomb investigation. They found out they put him on an elevator with someone who had a gun and a felony. They were putting his life at risk. How did I get the message? I don't know. But Revelation tells you your young men will see visions. Whatever. Hate me for it. You got to have a scapegoat. I'm okay. But I saved his life. I saved his life because he was about to fall. That's why he fired the people who were protecting him, because they weren't. So when I say you're going to die, I don't mean I'm going to do nothing to you. It means you in danger. And when he went to seek and find if he was in danger, he found it. And he fired all of them. And I was sitting in Butner, North Carolina, being treated like I was insane. And it's okay. I had to learn finesse. You
have to have finesse.
And I didn't know that because I was so moved by passion. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
My body is 33 years old.
33.
My body.
Okay.
I didn't say I was 33.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old would you consider yourself?
Time doesn't exist to me.
Nigga, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's another interesting concept. So when you say that time doesn't exist to you, I mean, it is all relative, really. And there are those who believe that time has no meaning. So do you feel that it has no meaning, or it just doesn't exist to you?
Everything has a meaning. I'm saying it doesn't mean to me what it means to others.
What does it mean to you?
It's a word.
Okay.
It's a sound. Time means you are associating your identity with your flesh. If someone talks to me about time, I immediately know that they think they are their flesh. And that's sad, because that means they're afraid to die.
You're not afraid to die.
I can't die. I can't.
Splash.
Where did you find this guy?
No. Hey, listen. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. To be quite honest.
So you're saying that no one is ruled, or in your mind, no one is ruled by time, but
no, I'm saying everyone is ruled by time because they choose to be. Because they don't think enough. They don't relate. They don't connect to themselves enough. Their identity. They haven't evolved their identity of self.
We're all stuck in the matrix.
By choice. Yeah. By choice.
Those are things I believe.
Yeah, because if you look up matrix in the dictionary, it means the womb. At some point, it's time to be born.
Right.
Sometimes it's time to be born.
Definitely a good concept.
Is that what the matrix means by definition?
What? Look it up. Matrix means the womb. W-O-M-B. That is the definition of matrix. It is a womb. Period.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Man.
Infantile minds, umbilically connected to definitions force-fed to them by their enemies. It's sad.
Okay. So, and how would you say that you were able to break this cycle for yourself? Was it the drugs?
It wasn't. Honestly, if I tell you how, it's because when someone handed me the Bible as a child, I believed that shit. See, they want you to accept it but not really believe it. If you really believe it, oh man, all your rules go out the window. You told me everything was going to be great and it's on the way, so I don't want to hear nothing you talking about. You told me I'm eternal and that if I accept this, I'll never die, so I have. What are you talking about? Who are you? Who sent you? You know, and I began to study, of course. Theology is a big thing for me because I'm an artist. I'm a poet. So when I hear poetry, I hear allegory, I hear symbolism. That attracts me. That's the forbidden fruit. You know what I'm saying? So what led to it was, of course, that first bite of forbidden fruit when someone handed me the Bible, not knowing what it was, and then my journey. You know what I'm saying? Going to prison, going to foster care, feeling like this world, it rejected me, feeling like nobody loved me, and still trying to find a way to believe that there was an entity, a being, a thought that knew why I was here, sent me here for a purpose, and that there were great things I was destined to do. Really believing that like a child is what led to me unlocking all the bullshit that traps everyone else.
And you're saying it all started with someone handing you the Bible. So you read it yourself. What age were you at this time?
I was a baby. You know, our parents feed us that shit young. My first thing, my family were Jehovah's Witnesses. So they handed me the My Book of Bible Stories. It's a gold book with red writing on the front.
We never got that. We did an episode not too long ago about, I was actually raised as Jehovah's Witness myself. So I actually know exactly what you're talking about, My Book of Bible Stories. So when did you break off from being, quote unquote, a witness to doing your own thing?
Yeah, I'm still a witness. The issue is that I know most witnesses ain't seen nothing.
Okay.
I've witnessed. That means we don't talk about faith anymore. I've witnessed what they call Jehovah, Yahovah, Yahweh, whatever. I've witnessed the existence of the Almighty. Religion has nothing to do with it. So I broke away from it. I told you I was a foster child. So being with my family, I didn't stay with my family more than 5 years before the system came and snatched me. So after the system snatched me, my first foster family were Jehovah's Witnesses, and they couldn't handle me. I'm a rebel. They kicked me out early. You know what I'm saying? And then the rest of my foster families were from many different denominations. So I left that concept trapping me early, but I had the fear of Armageddon still upon me for a long time. It took me a while to shake that off. I'm not going to lie.
So even going through different families, that's the religion that kind of stuck with you the most.
Because it comes from your family, and that's who you trust the most as a child.
The fear of Armageddon. What is that?
Well, it's a concept that the end of the world is coming, and,
right?
And as it was presented to me, anyone who isn't a part of this conglomerate will not survive it.
Okay.
I was actually snatched out of school because I was crying and hysterical, telling my teacher, "I love you. You're such a good person. You got to come to the truth because Armageddon's coming. You're not gonna make it." And what I found out at my time in Butner, North Carolina, is that there's something called hyper-religiosity. If you truly believe the Bible stories, they will lock your ass up and put a needle in your booty because they know it's allegory.
Right.
This is real talk. This is real talk.
If
you get to talk about Jesus in a courtroom, they'll snatch you up and throw you in a padded room.
They will. They absolutely will.
Yeah.
That's not a joke. Like, if you go into a courtroom with Jesus as your defense,
it's over.
Even
though there's a Bible right there.
Right, you're done.
And that's crazy. You put your right hand over the Bible and swear.
But
as soon as you throw the Bible at him.
Say that again. Put your right hand is masculine, sends out energy. Left hand, feminine, receives energy. Put your right hand, so you're sending out energy, on top of the Bible, and then swear. Swear. They dirty. Right. They slick with it, boy. They slick with it.
But if you try to use anything in this book as a defense, my nigga, you're done. You're done. You're fucking insane, and you're a lunatic, and you're done. That's crazy that they do that, but they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. It comes from King James. He had a plan.
Yeah.
And it's all good. It's all good. I'm not hating nobody. Everybody do what they do. Just activate whatever you holding, man. If it doesn't set you free, then it ain't for you. Period. If you feel guilty right now and you feel you need forgiveness from someone, you being programmed, man. Somebody telling you you're not enough, and they didn't make you. They don't have the right to say that.
Right. So, okay. So
we off topic, bro.
We are.
Music. Bring it back to the music.
I'm ringing it in, man. I'm reining it in because I did want to hear about the music. So, you at that particular point when you came back to North Carolina, in between shooting the movie and promoting the movie, you had a new project. Now, is that your latest project?
That is my latest project. Since Symbolic Nature, I have released a project, but there was no new material on it. I called it Walls of Water. It was a 2-disc set, and I just released everything I'd ever recorded. I had 2 laptops full of music that hadn't been placed on albums that I was just recording, duets, etc. I combined all that stuff into a double disc album called Walls of Water, and I just threw it out there. No thought behind it. I'm not sure if people understand how to take it, but after Symbolic Nature, I wanted to purge. So I released Walls of Water. It was 2 discs of just everything I had ever made so I could start fresh. And now I'm working on a new project.
Okay, so now you're working on new music.
Yeah.
All right, and do you produce your own tracks?
I do not make beats. I have 3 producers, one at Phoenix, Arizona, by the name of Versus. I have one in Fayetteville, North Carolina, by the name of Orchestra Boy. And then I have one in Buffalo, New York, by the name of Hawkman. So between those 3, those are my production team. I have an entertainment collective. We got 3 MCs, including myself, and 3 producers. It's called Pure Flow. We work in-house and try to make everything original.
Okay, working in-house, Pure Flow.
Yeah.
I like that, Pure Flow.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so is everybody in the collective kind of on the same thing?
Absolutely not. Oh,
right.
no.
Okay.
I'm the only
Okay.
psycho. My first cousin, his name is Azariah, and he's more, just gritty, lyricism. Not even the topic being gritty, just the way he presents his flow is gritty. And then when it comes to like street level, gritty in terms of that, we have a brother by the name of Jay Hustle. So it's Eerie Canal, Azariah, and Jay Hustle. So Hustle is in his name. You know what I'm saying? Azariah is actually a biblical name. And Azariah is really, honestly, in my opinion, he's never heard me say this, he's chaos. He just flows. Whatever comes off his mind, pure flow. He just lets it go. And me, I'm more, I guess you could say wicked with mine. I got an intention. And I use a lot of religious and biblical and, Quranic concepts because I'm talking to the people who have been programmed. I'm talking to them directly. So together, it's a dangerous combination.
Okay. So would you consider your message to be like do you consider yourself like Neo almost, like how you're trying to unprogram individuals, or is even that depiction to Hollywood?
Yeah, the only reason it's too Hollywood is because Neo is a clone of the Jesus myth, and I'm not sacrificing myself for people.
Indeed.
I'm not sacrificing. I was trapped in that for a minute, wanting to be the Messiah, and that's the God MC. Wanting to save people. I'm not trying to save nobody. If I blow a horn and it wakes you up, I didn't blow the horn to wake you up. I blew the horn because that's what I'm supposed to do. Okay, I used to be in the point where I'm trying to get you to understand my perspective, and that's not for me. That's not what I'm supposed to be doing. So, I don't care, people. I'm not a conscious rapper. I'm a conscious person who raps. There's a difference.
All right, so where can we go here? Because obviously we now want to hear the music, of course.
Yeah.
And so where can we go hear some of your music? But also, because for those people who are lazy, I'll probably link a small portion.
Right.
So what song will be, or what is out there that you would say, okay, if you had to limit yourself to just one, it would have to be this song.
Ooh, one song?
One song.
All right. One song.
The jury is fickle.
Okay. For the jury, you need to listen to The Book of Matches, Part 1. The Book of Matches, Part 1. Produced by Vice Versa, a.k.a. the Orchestra Man, Orchestra Boy from Fayetteville. And The Book of Matches is the story of Pinocchio told in reverse in a project setting. It'll change your life.
Okay, The Book of Matches, Part 1.
Yeah.
And who are some of the artists that you listen to who kind of influence your sound, or inspire you to step your bars up?
So when you say that, you're speaking to my ego. I don't listen to anybody.
Okay.
I don't. I'm inspired by life, by nature.
Okay.
I enjoy a lot of artists, but I don't get inspired by, I don't study anyone. No one's influenced my style. And the reason that is because of the foster care thing. The Jehovah's Witness homes, you're not allowed to listen to rap. So it saved me. I wish I have heard a Rakim album top to bottom, but I haven't. And if someone in the hip hop world thinks that disqualifies me, I'll see you on the mic. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm not influenced by anybody, man. This is coming directly from the divine.
Mm-hmm. I'm interested, man. I really am. I'm definitely gonna check your shit out. So, as far as this new project you're working on, what kind of timeline, as far as new music, or do you have a date? Or
when it comes to this new project, I'm still working with my brother Versus out of Phoenix, Arizona, and he's a genius. So I let him set the dates and times because he's mastered time. We talked about time being a construct a bit earlier. So I let him tell me when to drop it. We may drop it around Tupac's birthday because that was the time we dropped Symbolic Nature. The link for Symbolic Nature is actually Machiavelli Records 666.bandcamp.com. So because of what happened when I dropped Symbolic Nature, I think we're going to come back for some vengeance, and we may drop it on Tupac's birthday again this year.
Now, when you say that he mastered time, how was he able to accomplish a feat like that?
You want me to tell you how he did it? Come on now. You want me to tell you how he did it?
Well, you don't have to tell me how he did it. But
I can tell you he did it. I can tell you that my affirmation is that he has, based on some of the things I've experienced by communicating with him.
Now, okay, so let's get into some other, because you've actually been pretty vocal about it. So let's spend a little bit more time on some of these ideology and idiosyncrasies that you kind of subscribe to. If you don't believe that people die or that you will die, how do you feel? So what do you think will happen after the flesh that you inhabit currently?
Should I decide to shed my physical body, it will be to grab some of the tools I've left in other dimensions, because we manifest this physical realm for a purpose. What will happen is I will remain me. I'll still be me. What will happen is the next phase of my plan. It's interesting that when I think about being born and saying, how come I don't remember anything before, but I can boldly say now I've always existed. So I must accept, if that's true, that this time frame that I'm calling life is a chapter in something I wrote and then desired to play myself in. And they say, don't play yourself. Who else you gonna play? Why don't you be yourself?
Well, you don't want to play yourself.
Really? Why not? I only use the terminology play because it's an actor. You play a role. You play. The child plays. English, first of all, let's start here when you talk to me, because this is our first interaction. English means spin. When you put English on a pool ball, you put spin on it. Every word in the English language has about 5 meanings.
True.
And if you accept the meaning that is commonly used, you're not on that narrow path. You're not on that narrow path. People hate talking to me because when they say good morning, I say, I'm sorry. And they say, what are you talking about? I say, you just said you're mourning, and it's good to be mourning. I said, I don't agree with that. I'm sorry you're mourning. I didn't mean it like that. You didn't explain it. And then they don't want to talk to me anymore, and that's fine, because my job is to use the word, which was primary, to free myself. So when you speak to me, I'm going to hear the word how I choose to. It matters how you hear a word. I got locked up because of how somebody chose to hear words that I wrote. I didn't even speak them.
So how do you address individuals in the morning?
Happy rising. Because if they're in the morning and they're awake, which is the moment where you view the body, I tell them to rise. It's resurrection talk. Happy rising.
Happy rising.
Yes. Because you can't take that any wrong way.
You can't. You can't.
See, that's mastery. Yeah.
You can't finesse that in any other way.
I'm sure I'm going to try.
I bet.
You can't finesse that in any other way. So now it's interesting that you picked up, that you mentioned other dimensions. Now, do you travel to other dimensions?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
every night.
So so do you I don't want to say consciously, but are you in control of your ability to travel?
I am, but that's called lucid dreaming. They call that. Mm-hmm. Most of my dreams are not lucid because I'm sending myself instructions. And if you're lucid, you can interrupt the message you wrote for yourself. It's like if the water's flowing and you're supposed to be letting the water fill the cup, and you are aware that the water's coming down, and you stick your hand into it, you mess up the flow. Sometimes you have to be the observer, the witness, because I receive that the Almighty is sending me a message. Let me view it. Let me experience it. Then I can contemplate it when I wake in the physical flesh and say, okay, this is what that meant. This is why I sent myself that message last night. This is why I traveled there, to see something, not to do anything, to see something in the unseen, to see. You know what I mean?
I do understand some.
I know you do. A little bit.
I do understand a little bit. I contemplate things from time to time, but usually I allow myself to become distracted with other things, and so I'm not a bit, I'm kind of just, take it however it comes type of person. But there are books that I read and things that I think that I won't get to here.
Okay. You can hold that.
Right. Just only because I would probably even sound after all that.
He's playing Morpheus right now. He's like, yeah, I know a little bit. I don't know much.
Only after all the things that you said, I would probably sound completely crazy if I just started like going.
Really? After what I've said, you would sound crazy. That's amazing. That's intriguing. Now I want to hear it.
I mean, it's basically a lot of the same things, but just twisted and
That's good. Your shoes wouldn't fit me.
Well, yeah. I mean,
but
shoes.
Because
yeah,
do you
shoes.
want them to? Not necessarily. You don't want them to. You want everyone to think differently individually of how you view things and how you.
I want everyone to be themselves. I want
everyone exactly.
To be, right.
People should be themselves.
Right.
People should be themselves. Absolutely. So, oh man, that was and when you said like because it was cold today, and when you was like yeah man, we can reschedule. It's all good. I was like. Yeah, we can. But I'm glad that I didn't, man. I learned cool. a lot, and this is definitely like a dope episode. We'll have to have you back.
That would be a blessing. That'd be dope.
Definitely.
We'll definitely have to have you back.
Hopefully I have some news, man. Raleigh, fuck with me. Stop treating me like that.
Right, right. Because, and definitely, by the time people hear this, the show tonight will have already come and gone. But you'll have to come back and, put us on, next time we see you, hopefully you'll have some new music to talk about. But we'll definitely, I'm gonna save my review of King's Faith until you come back and we can discuss it together.
Okay,
but
cool.
I can sure as fuck promise you this, that you'll get a whatever check from at least the time I'm gonna play it, because I'm gonna definitely be watching it. I'm gonna tell my old lady to watch it.
Cool.
I'm gonna have the kids watching it.
Yes, it's family friendly, man. It's PG-13. You know what I mean? It's got a good message behind it.
All right.
Just ignore the the Eurocentric nature of it. The hero's a white boy, the villain's a black boy. You know what I mean? It's America, but we can see behind that.
Okay. All right. So go ahead, because my little thing is telling me I'm about to run out of storage.
Okay.
So tell my listeners where they can find you on the gram, on the sites, and how they can connect with you and your music.
Okay, fantastic. Again, my name is Eerie Canal. That's spelled EERIECANAL. If you want to check me out, go to Eerie Canal Raw. RAW, all one word, eeriecanalraw.com. You want to check out the team, welcome to pureflow.com and see what we're up to. I got a blog that we run on there. Other than that, man, the Eerie Canal Raw on Instagram. If you can't take that and find me, what I got ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? We in the internet world, search me out, hotkeys.
All right, facts.
Right.
Okay.
Here it is, Gorilla Hit. You can definitely get you on Snapchat, R-59, Instagram, R59. So always follow up.
All right, facts. Okay, and of course, if you are a fan of this episode or a fan of this podcast, you can fuck with me on Instagram and Twitter at The Verdict Podcast. Also, I believe I do have a Facebook page, The Verdict Podcast. You can follow Splash Jordan to see what he's up to on Twitter and Instagram at House of Splash. Also, you can go to my website, thehouseofsplash.com, and see what week-old episodes I've posted there, as well as news that by the time I've heard it, it's got to be 2 to 3 weeks old. Other than that, it's the first episode of the year, and I got more things in store. A bigger, more entertaining guest. We want to thank you for coming.
You saying I'm boring?
No. I was talking about you.
Starting out the new year with more entertaining guests.
Talking about you, man.
Like Eerie Canal in the place. Set it off right for the year.
I'm sensitive. I'm sorry. My bad, bro. Go
I was
ahead.
talking about you, nigga. Damn, man. Yeah, because honestly, that's probably definitely the most interesting segment, from.
I would definitely agree with that. Yeah.
Definitely. Anybody who doesn't listen to this episode is missing out for sure. So I was just happy to be a part of it, man. I appreciate that.
Indeed.
So all right then. So we're getting out of here. One.
Yeah. It's just a simple riddle. He had a fist full of thorns, a mouth full of petals, backpack full of metal, inside of a dark ghetto. A wooden boy lost, is trying to be a man. The block is on fire, they finally understand the book of masses. He forfeited his future for more pain. Unfortunately, the fortune he was chasing never came. When he walked in the rain, he swole up and started creaking. When the demons began speaking, the tears he held back began leaking. Made a choice, odds weren't at odds with the daily mirage. He been trying to get the fuck out of Dodge. He sold everything, including the little hope that he had. It was potent, wrote in gold on a pad. His dreams and nightmares lyrically. See, that was part of the trap, to keep you thinking it was only a rap, but it's pure sap. Poured from the gut of his veins, his skin changed and became wood grain, termites all in his brain. He has a fist full of thorns, a mouth full of petals, a backpack full of metal, inside of a dog ghetto. A wooden boy lost, is trying to be the man. The block is on fire, they finally understand it. He has a fist full of thorns, a mouth full of petals, a backpack full of metal, inside of a dog ghetto. A wooden boy lost, is trying to be the man. The block is on fire, they finally understand it. Both are mad, catalyst, the full frontal assault. Cause looking back into my past, I'd be a pillar of salt. The caterpillar told Alice to walk. When every corner got a devil, they embezzle for bezels. The diamonds cut another bevel. This a deeper level. Dust storms that never settle didn't whittle him down. It's profound. 2x4 for legs was forced to stand instead. He made the choice. He felt they left the poor for dead. Became a bonsai. Kamikaze tendencies. His heart was 10 degrees lower than it's meant to be. Began budding and thugging, bugging, trying to find room to stretch his branches. Plotting on bank branches, ranking his chances. The next day would be his moment of truth. Dug in his roots and committed himself to shoot. Was all about the loot and the plot was resolute. Didn't understand they had led him to the bed of dead recruits. He has a fist full of thorns, a mouth full of petals, a backpack full of metal, inside of a dog ghetto. Wooden boy lost, is trying to be the man. The block is on fire, finally understand it. He has a fist full of thorns, a mouth full of petals, a backpack full of metal, inside of a dog ghetto. Wooden boy lost, is trying to be the man. The block is on fire, they finally understand it. A little stick man waiting in line. The line is pocket in the line for the deposits with a 9 with 9 rockets. Counted 4 cameras, 2 guards and 9 sockets. 5 times his hands dived in the pocket, couldn't stop it. Sweaty hands, no breeze, but the demons told him that it would be a breeze. Leave with at least 4 G's. Golden scribble on the paper was the letter. Simple demands. Tell his mother he had done all he can. It said fuck money. Screamed with a gun in his hand. He didn't want a penny. Too much dirt in the core. He poured all the bullet shells to the floor. Was it right on time or too late? The pigs rushed the door. Well, no one questioned what they bucking for. The blood rushed from his body like a wave to the shore. They lit him up. This is book of magic. Streets lit him up. He has a fist full of thorns, a mouth full of petals, a backpack full of metal, inside of a dog ghetto. Wooden boy lost, is trying to be the man. The block is on fire, they finally understand it. He has a fist full of thorns, a mouth full of petals, a backpack full of metal, inside of a dog ghetto. Wooden boy lost, is trying to be the man. The block is on fire, they finally understand it. Book of mad.
Vice versa.
That is.